And important information every day. The National Police captured alias Andresito, the alleged murderer of Franz Fuertes James, who was the owner of a shop in Sun Bay.
Last August 10, indignation covered the islands when a hired assassin murdered a businessman in the Sun Bay sector. Alias Andresito would be the direct perpetrator of the murder. Personnel from the island's police department expanded on this information.
Día de ayer, el Departamento de Policía de San Andrés.
Yesterday, the San Andres Police Department captured alias Andresito, who is allegedly the perpetrator of the murder of Franz Fuertes James on August 10 in San Luis sector.
Although the elements that help clarify this homicide are still under investigation, the information collected through security cameras made it possible to detect the motorcycle used on the day of the murder and to track down the perpetrator of the crime. The capture took place at a residence located in the Simpsonwell neighborhood.
The Colombian Navy confiscated more than 1.5 tons of illegal fishing in San Andres. Among the products there were lobsters, king crab, queen conch, among other seafood. These are part of the confiscated products.
During the development of maritime sovereignty and control operations carried out 260 nautical miles from the archipelago in waters of the common regime between Colombia and Jamaica, the maritime authorities managed to seize 1,514 kilograms of illegal fishing.
It was made possible the confiscation of more than 1.5 tons of illegal fishing in San Andres. In the operations developed by the ARC 20 de Julio was possible the interdiction of a Honduran vessel that was doing illegal fishing in Colombian waters at 260 nautical miles. With these operations, the National Navy reaffirms its commitment to the environment.
During the visit and inspection of the vessel, the crew members of the Naval Institution found 99 people on board, including 5 minors, mostly Honduran nationals. They also found and confiscated half a pound of marijuana, 196 firearm shells of 9 mm caliber, and 43 shells of 7.62 mm caliber, 5 suppliers, 271 scuba tanks, and other nautical elements. The vessel did not have permits from the Colombian Maritime Authority, thus violating the regulations for fishing, commercialization, and transportation of the nation's natural resources. For this reason, it was transported under escort by Coast Guard units to the dock of the San Andres Coast Guard Station. Once at the dock, the inspection of the 1,514 kilograms of illegal fishing was carried out, finding 460 kilograms of lobster and 317 kilograms of sea cucumber, species protected by the Environmental Authority, which were delivered to officials of the Secretariat of Agriculture and Fisheries of San Andres and Old Providence in coordination with the Corporation for the Sustainable Development of the Archipelago of San Andres, Providence, and Santa Catalina, Coralina, along with the fishing gear and diving equipment. Meanwhile, the captain of the vessel, the marijuana, and ammunition was handed over to the Judicial Police, Sihin.
Work began on the provisional intervention of the Carrera Trese, which led to the lifting of the blockade that was on the road.
After 3 days of blockade, the inhabitants of District 4 lifted the peaceful protest they were carrying out on the Carrera Trese road after the departmental government began intervention works on the road. The Secretary of Infrastructure and Public Works gave details on the activities deployed.
Nos encontramos supervisando.
We are supervising the works that are being done since Friday in Carrera Trese with high intensity. The works that we have been doing in Carrera Trese consist of the adequacy of the land, irrigation of compacted sub-base material to achieve a level and a dragging that can be transited. These are works that we will be doing continuously until we manage to deliver the final solution formally.
The departmental government announced that the corresponding procedures are underway to initiate the project that will make the construction of the Carrera Trese road a reality, a work that will positively impact the quality of life of the inhabitants of the Archipelago Department.
From early hours in the morning, the inhabitants of the Sagrada Family neighborhood blocked the road to the sector to demand the supply of drinking water.
We have completed 35 consecutive days without water, without this vital service, which is a constitutional right. At this time, we are demanding that Veolia adjust the procedures and service schedules that the neighborhood must have. We are currently having periods of 30 to 35 days, and it cannot continue like this because the company had a commitment with us that they would provide us with service every 7 days.
We have 35 days without water, and it's something that has been encountered when they install this item on the road that the water measure, then told us that every 7 days we will have water, and water has not been come. If it has been 35 days, no one have water. How we having get shower and so on? The neighbor has been help us. We go to each house who have cistern, so not everybody here have a cistern. So then give us water to get shower and to wash our things. I find that is very consistent. Then told us also so many things that there has been said and nothing has been done. With the water bill that arrived, that is punctually arrived, and it is very expensive. So regarding that, we need a solution from the government and from Veolia.
The general manager of Veolia Water Archipelago responded to the community with reasons why the supply has not been installed.
The situation in the Sagrada Familia neighborhood is a situation that is already common in the sectors that are supplied by the 25 liters per second desalination plant, whose water is taken to the Mission Hill tank and distributed to these sectors. We have been reporting for more than a year that the impulsion line that takes the water from the plant to the Mission Hill tank has been showing damages. We have an accumulated amount of 90 damages. This impulsion line is part of what the National Risk Management Unit built for the department.
On the other hand, John's office indicated that the responsibility for repairs does not depend only on Veolia, but also on the departmental administration.
Many work sessions have been held with all the actors involved in the project, but to date there has not been a fundamental solution, and we are the ones who are facing the community when the definitive solution is not in our hands. Therefore, we request the department, through the Risk Management Unit, who is the beneficiary of the contract policy, to make effective the quality and stability policy of the work due to evidence that has been found in the field, which is sufficient for said policy to be effective.
Finally, the official indicated when water will be delivered to the community of the Sagrada Familia sector.
The sector of Sagrada Familia, according to the schedule, should be receiving water on Wednesday. Today we are attending the blockade with our team, and the idea is that people who owe up to 2 bills will receive water in a tank truck.
The manager of Veolia also indicated that there were delays in the operation due to the repairs in the line in District 4 due to the blockage in the sector, which is why they had not been able to provide water to several sectors.
In other news, sewage overflow causes concern among the community of the 5th stage of Guinea Hen, who has been suffering from this situation for several weeks.
Son puras aguas sépticas. Sí, nosotros nos inundamos.
It is pure septic water, yes. We are flooded. But right now, this water is full of microorganisms that affect not only the children, but also the seniors. We have to keep our houses closed. We would like to thank the departmental government and the environmental attorney for taking action on the matter, especially with this problem with Veolia.
The sewage overflow that is affecting the community of the 5th stage Guinea Hen, who for weeks have had to watch and endure this situation, looks like a swimming pool. They fear that this will become a public health problem because the stagnant water is causing the growth of microorganisms which can generate infections for the entire community.
En este momento nos vemos afectados porque
at this moment, we are affected because the decomposition has been going on for more than a week, so we need a solution. But Veolia harmed us because they unclogged the tap and the clog stayed close by.
We're greatly affected. We're tired of this problem. There are creatures, insects that come out of these very rotten waters. The smell, the children are getting sick. There are children with lacerations in their legs.
The community evidence that there are minors that already have skin diseases because of this stinking water.
Esta situación es horrible.
This situation is horrible. We ask the government to have compassion on us because we can no longer sit in the doorway because the smell is so fetid. And the children are affected since they have many outbreaks on their skin, all because of that smell. We can't stand it.
After this situation that generates a headache for the community at the 5th stage of Guinea Hen, this news agency tried to talk to the company in charge of the sewage system, but until the closing of this broadcast was not possible. Therefore, Teleislas News will be attentive to the statements issued by this situation according to the company's press office. They could eventually issue a statement in the next few hours.
The cultural agenda of the Cultural Center of the Bank of the Republic includes various activities of interest for this community. Here are the details of the event scheduled for this Thursday.
This seminar we've been doing through this year is called Cómo se construye el maritorio. What we're going to be talking about this 15th of September from 4 p.m. onwards with Miss Sharika Crawford is analyzing how the fishermen, our navigators, our captains have been building the sea as a territory, you know? How we appropriate that space, how we use it, and how we use it not only to exploit it, but how we use it also as road to communicate and have community with the peoples of the Caribbean. We know so we have communication with Grand Cayman, for example, with Jamaica, with Nicaraguan coast. So all of us are welcome to analyze how through our use of the sea we build territory.
The event will be held from 4 to 6 p.m. on September 15 at the auditorium of the Bank of the Republic, and admission will be free of charge. The Cultural Center invites academics, students, and the community in general to participate in the activity.
And now let's get to know other facts that today are making news in our brief news section.
The Environmental Ecological Protection Group of the National Police, together with the youth civic group Friends of Nature, developed a prevention and awareness campaign aimed at citizens who visit the tourist attractions of the archipelago of San Andres Islands, commemorating the National Biodiversity Day, inviting residents and tourists to support the environmental culture that protects and cares for the species of flora and fauna of the region, inviting citizens to report to #123 any actions of illegal trafficking that endangers the integrity of the country's endemic species. With the purpose of increasing the living collection with new species and or varieties of plants in the departmental botanical garden, a planting event was held where plants such as the edible pineapple, tachuelo or sneezing wood, and bucaro were added. Over the weekend, the departmental government, through the Health and Government Secretariats, commemorated the International Day for Suicide Prevention with a candle lighting at the Morgan Cannon Plaza, where the light was lit for the deceased and survivors of suicide. Different religious leaders of the island and sent a hopeful message to those who are in depression, young adults or youth, not to feel alone, and remind them that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel.
With this information, we reach to the end of our broadcast, but we see you tonight at 8 p.m. with more of Teleislas News. Good afternoon.